hello! I've got too many subscribers, so I figured I'd lose any of you that were sitting on the fence about me. Here's a video on why is overrated. Wow, those title cards really take you by surprise. Look, I know everyone loves this movie as if it was their firstborn child. It's even attained a near-perfect score on Rotten Tomatoes. And I know that taking someone's firstborn child and casually feeding it into a blender is somewhat frowned upon. I feel like making a video slagging off Inside Out is the YouTube equivalent of taking a live grenade, pulling out the pin and dropping it at my own feet. I bought a toy grenade from Amazon so I could do some kind of visual joke here, but yeah, I am against a green screen. Grenades are green. I have just wasted £6 on a prop that only I can see. Here's why Inside Out falls to pieces once you start poking holes in it. Flaw number 1, characterization. Of course, every good movie needs a strong protagonist, but who's the main character we're supposed to care about in Inside Out? Is it her? Or is it her? I asked you guys on Twitter and the results were mixed. Admittedly, it was only a handful of votes, but I think it's pretty clear that the main protagonist of Inside Out isn't clearly defined. I don't mind exploring both options, however, since whichever way you point this car, you'll inevitably drive off the road and crash into my unmoving fence post of cast iron logic. So here we go. Firstly, let's assume the girl is the main character of Inside Out. Let me ask you this. What's her name? Ready to kick yourself? Let me introduce you to Riley, a character so memorable, you forgot her name. Of course, you could always lie about it and say you did know her name down in the comments below. Except you can't really do that now because everyone's going to think that you're lying, based on my suggestion that you are. Good luck with that. Even if you did happen to know her name, Riley is a character who is impossible to connect with. Because when you think about it, she's just a robot, controlled by these characters. So we might as well skip the middleman and assume that these fellows are the main characters of the movie. But this doesn't really help, because now we've got a scenario in which there's a robot controlled by 5 characters who, by their very definition, are one-dimensional. It's as hard to connect with these guys as it is with Riley. Because these guys only have one emotion each, and for the most part, they're not even likable emotions. Okay, so we got Joy. She's fine, whatever. Kudos where it's due. She's brilliantly voice acted, and could have been a lot more annoying. But then we've got Fear, who is annoying. Disgust, basically a stuck-up high schooler with no redeemable qualities. Sadness, a character so dislikable, even the other characters hate her. And Anger. Seriously, who wants to sit and watch a guy whose base personality trait is bitterness and fury? Point number 2. There is no antagonist. Just as there's no strong protagonist in the movie, there's no antagonist in it either. Literally, none. Where is the bad guy in Inside Out? Even the insipid Frozen, a movie that's infinitely more overrated, had a weak-ass politician whose primary evil deed was to set up a trade embargo. Uh-oh, sounds familiar. Of course, we quickly forget about him, and then only in the 3rd act do we get a proper antagonist. But at least they tried. Inside Out? Nothing.
And each core memory powers a different aspect of Riley's personality.
Point number 3. About 60% of the movie is the movie explaining the rules of the movie. The idea behind Inside Out is an interesting one, although not actually original. We'll get to that in a bit. But because of this quirky premise, it constantly needs to explain its own rules.
This seems interesting. Long-term memory retrieval volume 47. Hey, bring those back!
They're in the dump. Nothing comes back from the dump.
Yeah, look, lady, this is our job.
When Riley doesn't care about a memory, it fades.
Fade? What is this place?
The subconscious. It's where they take all the troublemakers. I don't like it here.
It's where they keep Riley's darkest fears.
Oh, and remember your rockets.
Of course, it runs on song power.
That's right, your theme song. What is going
We're
on?
abstracting. There are 4 stages. This is the first. Non-objective fragmentation.
What did you do? I just touched it.
That shouldn't make it
Oh,
change.
change it back, Joy.
Trying.
You can't change it back?
No, I guess I can't.
Good going, Sadness. Now when Riley thinks of that moment with Dad, she's gonna feel sad.
Sadness, you nearly touched a core memory. And when you touch them, we can't change them back.
It's a core memory.
But it's blue.
Joy, no. That's a core memory.
Stop it.
Oh, Riley has no core memories.
We just have to get back to headquarters, plug the core memories in, and Riley will be back to normal. Don't touch, remember? If you touch them, they stay sad. If you get in here, these core memories will get sad.
Large swathes of the movie are simply Joy lecturing us on how the movie universe works. In fact, the opening of the film is just a 7-minute long monologue directed straight to the audience.
Anyway, these are Riley's memories, and they're mostly happy, you'll notice, not to brag. But the really important ones are over here. I don't want to get too technical, but these are called core memories. Each core memory powers a different aspect of Riley's personality. Point is, the islands of personality...
You know what's anathema to storytelling? Lengthy exposition. Here's a bunch of things that are worth spending screen time on. Plot development, character building, story arc, scene setting, good pacing, sense of tone. Stuff that doesn't belong on our screens. Lengthy exposition. Adam Sandler. If I've got to sit through a movie in which one of the characters is just describing how the movie works, I've got better things to do. Like, watch a better movie. In this regard, Inside Out reminds me a lot of Inception. Hey everyone, let's all explain dream physics to Ellen Page!
You're not going to tell me anything about this first? Why? Such as how? How could I ever acquire enough detail to make them think that it's reality? How did architects become involved? 5 minutes? Who are the people? How else do you do it? Then you break in and steal it. My question is, what happens when you start messing with the physics of it all? Why not? Is that what happened to you? Is that why you need me to build your dreams? What kind of tricks? But how big do these levels have to be? A maze. Then the longer we have before the projections catch us. Cobb can't build anymore, can he? Why? They're still together. What was she like in real life? Was it your idea? Why is that so important? You can't keep her out, can you? Cobb, do the others know? Why can't you go home? Who would want to be stuck in a dream for 10 years? What's a kick? Why do you do this to yourself? Why is it so important to dream? Well, what's down there that you regret? Well, what the hell is down there? How long can we be stuck there? And if he dies, how long are you stuck there? What's happening? So to use a timer? Well, how will you know? Well, why not? Whose subconscious are we going into exactly?
Yeah, that's right, I didn't like Inception either. Is anyone still watching this video? Number 4. The suspension of disbelief factor is huge! Despite spending a lot of time clarifying how the inside of Riley's head works, there are still plenty of places in the movie where the physics just doesn't really hold up, and I spent most of the time watching Inside Out hung up on unanswered questions.
Riley is acting so weird. Why is she acting so weird?
Why are they surprised that Riley's acting weird? Don't they control her emotions?
It's like quitting. That's what I'm doing.
Emotions can't quit, genius.
Why not? Why can't fear go up the same pipe that the other two did? What would happen if you did? What would happen if they all did?
You mean we're stuck here until morning?
Yeah, the train of thought doesn't run while she's asleep.
Oh, we can't wait that long.
How about we wake her up?
Why can't they wait until morning?
How could we possibly...
Riley isn't doing anything. She's asleep. It makes no difference if you wake her up now to get the train going or if you just wait for her to wake up naturally.
Sorry, I went sad again, didn't I?
I'll tell you what, we can keep working on that when we get back, okay?
Why is Sadness surprised that she's sad and being all apologetic about it? And why is Joy trying to work on it? Isn't she aware that Sadness only has one emotion?
Look, we have no core memories. You want Riley to be happy? Let's get back to Minnesota and make more.
What the heck does that mean? Why do they need to go back to Minnesota to create more core memories? Don't they occur naturally?
Let's go. I'm sorry. Riley needs to be happy. Joy?
If Joy had succeeded in leaving sadness behind, what would happen then? Would Riley never be sad for the rest of her life? What would happen if Joy never made it out of the pit? Would Riley never be happy again? And if not, how is an entire personality depicted with just 5 emotions? And why these 5? What about jealousy, boredom, confusion, love, pride, regret, grief? Do the emotions have other emotions? Do the emotions have their own memories?
Do you remember how she used to stick her tongue out when she was...
So, does Joy have independent memories of Riley's memories? And if they fade, does she lose her memories of those memories?
Go, run, go!
Did an entire portion of Riley's brain just get wiped out? And so on, and so on. Inside Out is fine if you're really able to suspend your own disbelief about how the whole thing works, but the second you start poking holes in it, it all collapses under its own weight. Let's move on to point number 5. The idea isn't original. This isn't a criticism per se, and I don't want to make too big a thing about it, but to those claiming that Inside Out is such an original idea, it's really not. Running since 1962 and still ongoing is a British comic called The Numbskulls. Tiny human-like technicians living in the heads of people and controlling their senses and emotions. Sound familiar? And get this, Disney also beat them to the punch by 7 decades. Back in 1943 they put out an 8-minute animated short named Reason and Emotion.
Each one of us is equipped with the ability to think, known as reason, and the ability to feel, known as emotion. Within the mind of each of us, these two wage a ceaseless battle for mastery.
Well, I wonder if the moral of the story is going to be that the various facets of the brain need to work together in order to attain emotional maturity, following a series of hilarious mishaps caused by the driving forces being imbalanced.
Time has brought about many changes inside his head since childhood. Reason seems to be in the driver's seat, with emotion under control in the rear.
Woo! Look at that! A classy dish, huh?
Well, she's not bad.
Hey, slow up. Let's get acquainted with this number. We'll just go up and I'll say to her.
Now, we must maintain proper respect for womanhood.
Oh, they like the rough stuff. You're not gonna pass that up.
We certainly are. Now, sit down and behave yourself.
Could I go for that? Here, let me handle this. We're going places. Woo! Hi, babe. Going my way?
Did I mention this was in 1943? This was fine back then.
By the way, may we borrow your pretty head for a moment? Thank you.
You shouldn't have slapped him. He was cute. Do you want to be an old maid?
Please, remember, we're a lady.
Oh, a lady. I'm tired of sitting around being a lady. Let's have some fun.
By that she means promiscuous sex.
I know. Let's eat. I'm starving.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Yep, fast food.
You can't go to work without tires and gasoline. He's got the right dough.
Don't believe everything you hear.
We're losing. He said so.
Don't be stampeded by hearsay.
I'll believe anything I want
We
to.
must use judgment and guard against...
Oh, we're in
That's
a mess.
right,
We
emotion.
haven't got
Go
it.
ahead.
Control yourself.
Put reason out of the way. That's great. Fine. For Hitler.
Yeah, you heard the man. Hitler. And lastly, we'll address what I like to call the Pixar sucker punch. Because it wouldn't be a Pixar movie without some contrived setup in the plot designed to manipulate adults into posting about how the movie was so emotional and it made them cry. And hey, if I sound like an emotionless stone wall, it's because Pixar have made me that way. Whenever I go see a new Pixar movie, I instantly try and identify which character's going to die or who's going to have to say goodbye to who. It's become so cliched and contrived that I've stopped seeing Pixar as this wonderful dream factory and instead realised that all the lovable characters we've come to enjoy were just invented in a room that looks like this. So when the character of Bing Bong was introduced, unfortunately, I knew exactly what was going to happen. Boil it all down, and the only reason Bing Bong is in the script is to serve as a generic sucker punch, clinically designed to hit as many people in the childhood as possible later on in the movie. That's it.
Oh no, we're two-dimensional.
Depth! I'm lacking depth!
You can say that again. Abrupt ending. Thanks for watching, and for allowing me to crush your dreams with my jackboot of cynicism. It's not all doom and gloom though. I've also uploaded a follow-up video on how Pixar can turn Inside Out into the most lucrative and culturally significant franchise of the 21st century. Seriously, bigger than Star Wars. There's a link to that in the description box below. If you haven't subscribed yet, do that. You can also check out the Patreon stream for lots of sexy extras. And speaking of sexiness, a huge sexy thanks to Ken, Russell, Rabbit, Carol, Jamie, Timo, Pete, Mate and the Mystery Man. I think you'll all agree that the videos lately have been better produced, and that's all thanks to those guys for supporting me. Goodbye.